Hello there. So I was kind of struggling a bit this week what to talk about. At first I thought I might talk about Eurovision, but then I've kind of done that on my uh, podcast that I've started doing, um, which maybe I should link to in the description. That might help. Anyway, then I was thinking, let's check in with everybody. How are you doing? Does anyone ever ask you that at the moment? How are you doing? Everybody is sort of at different stages of lockdown. It seems like the world has completely shut down. 2020 seems to have been cancelled. That's what it feels like. But there is life going on. People are still here. People do still care about you. And I just wondered how many people have been asking you, how are you? Now, this is a question that I like to be asked because for anyone who doesn't know me at all that well, I was diagnosed with anxiety about a million years ago, and I've been dealing with it ever since. I think I can trace it way back to before, way before my diagnosis. I've done a video in the past about something called dermatophagia, and it's where you pick at the skin and bite the skin around your fingernails. I try and paint my nails. As you can see, they're black at the moment. They're a bit chipped because I actually did them a week ago, but actually they lasted pretty well, considering they've been done for a week. I'm quite pleased about that. But part of that was to try and stop myself from picking. I'm telling you now, it doesn't work. But that really should have been a sign of my anxiety. That's something that I started doing when I was about 7 years old. And it was a combination of things. I always felt like I stood out a bit at school. I went to a village school where the entire school from year R, which is when you're about 5 years old, through to year 6 when you're about 11, was there were about 260 of us in the entire school. So it wasn't a massive school. And I felt like I stood out like a sore thumb at times. I had interests that other people just didn't have. And as a result, I wouldn't say that people went out of their way to actively pick on me. I think it was worse than that. I got actively ignored. It was like I didn't exist at all. I wasn't allowed to join in any games. I just basically got made an outcast, and it was through no choice of my own. So I kept my lunchtimes as busy as I could, volunteered in the school library, I learnt to play the recorder, I joined the orchestra, the choir, anything to fill up my time so that I wasn't actually alone. And people were kind of forced to be in the same general area as me, even if they weren't talking to me. It was pretty tough, but I learnt to deal with things on my own as a result of that. And as I say, I feel like a lot of my anxiety traits came about from this period of time in my life. And so whenever anyone asks me how I am, I like to try and give an honest answer. My anxiety has come and gone in waves over the years, and there have been times when it hasn't affected me at all. There have been times when I have felt it, the crushing weight of it, completely affecting every aspect of my life. But I like to think that a lot of the time it's something that runs alongside me. I like to borrow a phrase from a certain person that I quite admire. Always keep fighting. That's what I try and do. I just always keep fighting. It's not a struggle, I'm not suffering. It's a fight. But it's a fight that I like to think I'm winning. It's a fight that I like to think I've got this under control. And I try. And I think there's even more people out there who I think have their own fights that, to me, I admire them even more because of what they're going through. Everybody's experience with any form of anxiety, depression, etc., it's very unique to you. You can be generally diagnosed with something, but it's unique to you. So that doesn't mean that your struggle is more or less worthy than someone else's struggle. Your fight is more or less worthy than someone else's fight. It means that you can understand where somebody's coming from, but you're still never going to see it from their point of view. So just asking that question, how are you, is very important. And I am aware of the fact that we are now nearly 3 months, actually, in the UK into a lockdown that nobody can really seem to see a way out of. It seems hopeless. But it's not, and this too shall pass. It's one of those frustrating things. We're in a situation in the world now where we don't know what the end date is. we would love to get there, but we don't know what the end date is. And it's that not knowing, that uncertainty, that really sets a lot of people's stress and anxiety and depression off. Not knowing when you get to see friends, family, colleagues, people that you care about. And as a species, we're quite a social species. We need people around us. So I'm lucky in the fact that I'm currently under lockdown with my husband. I can't imagine what it's like if you're living on your own and you're not able to have that kind of contact. Now, I'm also talking to you through a camera. And we're all getting very used to this at the moment. This is how we are communicating with the outside world. We're lucky in a sense that this is happening at this point in time where we've got the technology to be able to talk to each other. But it's not the same. And studies have proven that it's making us more tired, it's making us more irritable. If anything, it's longing, to be with other people. It's kind of making that worse. We need to be physically with somebody, even if you're not touching the person. And trust me, I don't like being touched, but I like being with people. This isn't natural. It's something I've learnt to do over the years because it's something that I do. But not everybody knows how to do it, and not everybody's used to doing it. It even makes me tired and feel awkward. So what I've found is that my sleeping patterns are kind of all over the place. I'm losing the ability to English at times. My short-term memory is just gone. Now, when all this started, I was breaking down almost every day. I think a lot of people were. It's that uncertainty. It seemed very sudden, like out of nowhere this thing had come along that was a threat to all of us. It's a threat to, our very existence. It's a threat to our daily lives. It's a threat to everything we knew. And it was so uncertain and we had no idea what was going on. It's a novel disease, so again, we don't know what kind of patterns it's going to exhibit. Everything about it was scary. We didn't know who it was going to affect. We knew that lots of people would catch it and lots of people would die, and we were hoping that it wouldn't be anyone that we knew. We were hoping it wouldn't be us, and it's a very uncertain time. So I think a lot of people, especially at the very beginning, found it an incredibly stressful, very anxious time. I know I did. I was awful. I was a wreck. But as time has gone on, I found that actually I feel less stressed than I have done in years, and I don't know if it's because I'm spending more time at home and it's an environment that I feel safe and comfortable in. But I'm okay. There are things that still get my back up, that start to set me off, and it's the fact that I can't go and see people that I know and care about and love. But I think I'm coping a lot better than I expected I would. That doesn't mean that everybody is, though. Everybody is dealing with this in different ways, and there are people out there that are getting stressed and they are getting anxious, and I feel like they're the people we need to really be checking in on right now. We really need to be asking that question on a daily basis. How are you? So, how are you? And you're the people that we really need to be caring about even more. We all need to be caring about each other all the time, but you're the people we need to be caring about more right now. And we need to be showing some love, and we need to be showing some understanding, because it is tough. And there are things that you can try and do to make yourself feel better. Keep in contact. Don't just shut off. This might be weird, but keeping in contact is crucial. And if you haven't heard from a friend for a little while, it might be that they are struggling a bit. Reach out to them, send them a message, offer to do a video call, something like that, because everybody's going through their own crap right now. And they need that. They just need someone to reach out to them. And that goes under normal circumstances, but even more so now. And if you are going through some stressful things, just take some time out for you. Don't feel that you've got to push yourself to work from home. Don't feel that you've got to push yourself to teach your children or anything like that. If you're a student, don't feel that you've got to push yourself too hard, because you will have opportunities. This isn't the end of the world. It feels like it, but it's really not. So take some time out for you. Do the things that make you relax. Do the things that make you happy. If you can't quite pick that piece of work up right now, don't worry about it. Go and do something else, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you stay healthy and that you stay safe. And I want all of you to come out of this feeling okay, like you can take on the world, not be pushed down by it. We all need to feel like that. And there are ways of coping, and everybody finds their own way of coping, and you need to find that thing that helps you to cope, and that thing that's non-destructive that helps you to cope. It could be playing an instrument, knitting, reading a book, playing a video game. Anything that helps take your mind off of the crap is absolutely fine. And there are some people who are saying things like, oh, I've learned how to bake, and I've learned how to do this, and I've learned how to do that while I've been in lockdown. It's absolutely amazing. You don't need to do anything like that. You don't need to have come out of this and written the next, 10 sonnets of Shakespeare. You just need to come out of this, and that's the most important thing. So stay safe, stay sane if you can, in whatever way you can, and I will see you next week. And if you have any ideas of anything that you want me to talk about next week, please do let me know, and I will talk about them. But for now, look after yourselves, and down in the comments, tell me how you are.